Welcome to Spirit Flow, the sacred space where we believe spiritual health is the foundation of everything. I'm Tara, and I created this show to support women who are ready to reconnect with their essence, clear energetic blocks, and lead from their soul. When we're spiritually aligned, our health, our relationships, and our purpose begin to flow with ease. Each week, we'll explore the deeper layers of healing through conversations, reflections, and multidimensional lenses: spiritual, energetic, physical, and metaphysical. Let's step into the flow.
Hello, lovely soul. So good to have you back. I'm really excited for this podcast because we're going to tune into the energy forecast of July. And I really know that it's going to hold some beautiful themes I think your heart will resonate with. There has been this quiet stirring in the collective right now, something really soft but powerful. And if you've been sensing a bit of change on the horizon, maybe even a bit emotional lately, or even that you just want to reconnect with yourself on a deeper level, this episode is just for you. We're going to explore how to meet some of the themes of July with a lot more calm and presence, but also how to really listen to some of those inner soul nudges that are trying to come through as well. But before we begin, let's just ground ourselves in, center ourselves, and really start the episode in a grounded, present, loving way. So wherever you are, if you're walking, if you're folding laundry, or just taking a moment for you, just see if you can soften a little with me now. So I just want you to let your shoulders drop, take a slow, steady breath in, and let it go. I want you to place one hand on your heart and the other on your belly, and just feel your breath rising and falling. And just feel your body just as it is, how it is in this moment. And if it feels right, you can quietly say to yourself, I welcome the energy of July with curiosity and trust. And there's nothing that you need to fix or force. I just want you to arrive and just be here with me. Open heart, open ears. Okay, so let's begin with a moment of guidance. So a card that came through from my Akashic Codes Oracle deck for July, you wouldn't believe it, it's number 44. So it's the last card in my deck, and it's called World of Worlds. And you know what? It couldn't be more aligned with this month's energy. This card is a sacred reminder that your inner world, like your thoughts, your emotions, your longings, and even the parts of you that feel messy or unsure, all carry profound power. You are not just moving through life, you are life. And you are a universe in motion, this living expression of creation. In a month that will feel full of change, a lot of inner stirrings, I want you to come back to this card because it invites you to return inward, to tend to that internal garden, not with urgency, but with this softness and trust. It's funny, as I picked up this card and started to read it, I don't know if you've heard that Janet Jackson song about tending to your inner garden. I'll have to find it and share it with you. But, it really speaks to the truth that your external reality is always shaped by what's happening within. The more presence, the more compassion and space you offer yourself this month, the more ease and clarity you'll begin to see reflected around you. And so this card also starts to mirror the soul revelation energy that we're walking through as well. So it's that quiet emergence of something new. So it's about holding space for your own becoming without that needing to rush it, and really honoring every single part of you, the light, the shadow, the tender in between, and just knowing it all has a place. So when you take time to nourish your thoughts, your emotions, and really let your inner world feel seen and safe, your outer life will naturally begin to shift as well. And so the affirmation on this card is saying that I am radiant world. I am the radiant world within worlds, shaping my reality through love, through presence and inner harmony. I'm going to repeat that again. I am the radiant world within worlds, shaping my reality through love, through presence and inner harmony. Oof, that landed. And I really just want to let that land in you too, to breathe it in slowly. Because it's not just words, it's this remembering, and each word has an energetic frequency attached to it. So I want to invite you just to keep tending to your inner world with care this month, because it's from that place everything starts to align. So I really want to talk about the felt experience of July. So what's actually happening in your body, in your emotions and your energy right now. So if you have been feeling a bit wobbly lately, maybe a bit more sensitive than usual, maybe you've got those emotional up and downs, that kind of roller coaster, or you're maybe even just questioning everything that once actually felt really certain and you're really solid on. I just want to say that you're not alone and you're definitely not doing anything wrong. This is the kind of month that can feel a little unsteady. It's like that feeling that you might be kind of standing in a doorway between what was and what's still becoming. And so there's this movement happening under the surface, and it's okay if you don't quite know where it's all heading. Whenever I feel this kind of unsettled energy, either in myself or with my clients, one of the most supportive tools I use is working with the central meridian. So the central meridian is a key energy channel in the body. So in kinesiology and traditional Chinese medicine, it is seen as one of the energetic lines that runs from your pubic bone up to the center of your body to your lower lip or chin. It actually plays such a major role in regulating your energy field and supports your emotional stability, a lot of your mental clarity and spiritual alignment. So when this line is really flowing well, you will feel so much more grounded, so much more focused, and just at home in yourself. But when it's disrupted, which can happen during times of stress, emotional release, change, or even just day-to-day overstimulation, you might feel scattered, you might feel foggy, you might feel anxious, or just overly sensitive. I really want you to work with this central meridian. And so here is how I use it as a daily reset. It's called flushing your meridian. So what you want to do is gently hover one of your hands just a few centimeters above your body. And what you want to do is slowly sweep it from your pubic bone to your chin, as if you're kind of brushing the air above your skin. And what you do is you kind of move it up and down, up and down, up and down, and that's flushing. So it flushes and it realigns your energy. And then once you feel like that's done, on that final sweep, I want you to imagine like zipping yourself up from your pelvis to your chin, like sealing your energetic field with this light. I actually do it 3 times. So I kind of go up, pull it down, and then I hand away, and then I kind of do it again from pubic bone up to the up to my chin. It's really simple but powerful, and I just notice instantly it just changes my energy, how I hold myself. And I really feel that this technique really helps close off those energetic leaks. It helps you restore a lot of those boundaries that you might be kind of like dripping out of your system, and it starts to bring you back into your center. It's especially helpful when you've been around a lot of people, experienced a lot of strong emotions, or you just feel like your nervous system just needs a moment of calm. So I often do this in morning before sessions or anytime I need to come back to myself. And you can do it as often as you need, even if it's in the middle of the day, maybe even just standing at the sink or sitting in the car. What you're doing is it's like gently kind of calling your energy home. So if you have been feeling, a little more sensitive, emotional, or like you're moving through life in slow motion, I just want to say you're not lost. In fact, you're actually just standing on the edge of something really meaningful. Because often what happens is those moments of like inner those inner wobbles or those uncertainty um, aspects that you kind of experience during your day, they're not signs of falling apart by any means. They're signals. So they're messengers. They're telling you that something really sacred is starting to rise. And I guess that's where I want to lead now, is this deeper soul theme of July, because something that's been gently landing for me as I start to tune into July's energy is what they keep showing me is like this gentle reveal. So, as I sat with the energy of July, I kept coming back to this one feeling, this sense that something quiet is rising. And it felt like it was just so gentle. I didn't feel like it was like abrupting up and like a volcano, right? It was just this soft wave kind of brushing the shore, or this like memory returning that you didn't even know that you've kind of like forgotten. And that's when it landed for me. And I really felt that this month's deeper theme is what I call the gentle reveal. It's that tender moment when something old and sacred inside you starts to begin to stir again. So maybe it's something that you've just kind of tucked away. Maybe it is something that you have been kind of maybe patiently waiting for in the wings. And you know what? It doesn't want you to kind of figure it all out all at once. It doesn't want you to rush it. What it wants you to do is remember something deeper than that. They want you to remember that you are someone who is in their true integrity, the you beneath the roles, underneath all the survival, underneath all the shoulds. And you know what? This actually showed up for me recently in the simplest moment. So I was like folding washing and I felt this sudden pull to kind of go and open up an old journal. And there it was, this vision I had written years ago, one I hadn't actually thought about in so long. But reading it again, it like it brought tears to my eyes. Not because I hadn't lived it, but because I still wanted it. And somehow I'd kind of left it behind. And so that's the kind of moment this month brings. It's not dramatic, but it's like this deep, meaningful experience. There's this chance for you to come back to something true, a moment of soul remembering. So if you're feeling a bit tender, a bit unsure, or even just strangely nostalgic, let it come, let it rise. And this is the gentle reveal. And it's so powerful when it starts to kind of bubble up to the surface in a really gentle way. I really just want to also share each year I practice a really incredible ritual, and it's called omen tracking. And it's inspired by a Celtic tradition, and it's something I've woven into my own kind of spiritual rhythm over the years. So between Christmas and New Year's, when time feels like a little softer and the veil between worlds a little thinner, you know how it's like, I don't know what day it is, I don't know what date it is. It's like time between time, right? What I do is actually tune into each day and the energy, both around me and within me, as a way to kind of receive guidance for the months ahead. And so each day becomes a message for the month ahead. And so it's this feeling, it's this reflection. And the omen that came through for July was really simple and really powerful. I was in the ocean with my children at sunrise. The water was so warm. The light was just like filtering over this golden hue. And for a brief, beautiful moment, I felt completely present. Like I wasn't multitasking. I wasn't trying to capture it, shape it. I was just in it. And that moment was joy. Not the loud, explosive kind, but the really grounded, soul deep kind. And that's the essence of July's energy. It feels very radiant, very spacious, and very soul led. So it's like this call to slow down and really be in your life, to let the moment itself be enough, to wake up to the beauty that's already here. So this month, if you feel like you are feeling that uncertainty or that wobble kind of rise, come back to this image. Warm water, golden light, and just laughter carried by the tide, by the ocean. What would it feel like to move through your day with that energy? Just that little bit more of the softness, a little bit more of presence, the element of water, the light, the gentleness. So I also want to touch on some of the astrological kind of highlights this month as well, because I really feel that is important to kind of bring into this forecast as well. So in July, from the 5th to the 7th, Venus and Uranus are in Gemini. And so what this alignment might bring is that it might bring a lot of unexpected moments, some surprise conversations, maybe some spontaneous invitations, or maybe some of those fresh ideas just might pop out of nowhere. Uranus is always shaking things up a little, but Venus actually reminds us to stay connected to what feels good. So you might be finding yourself maybe speaking more honestly here. Maybe even like reaching out to someone that you haven't talked to in a while could be really, really beneficial. Let this be like a time to stay curious and don't overthink it. Just notice what arises. Later on in the month, the 24th of July, new moon in Leo, and that will be in opposite Pluto as well. So this is a powerful and tender moment in the month, a new moon that invites you to reconnect with your radiance, to express yourself more fully. And Leo wants you to shine, but Pluto wants you to go deep. So together they're starting to ask these questions like, what truth are you ready to share now? What part of your story is ready to be seen, not hidden? And then where can you lead with more courage and heart? And so this new moon energy is about setting, it's less about setting the bigger goals, right? It's more about reclaiming your inner light. Maybe one that may have just been dimmed out just slightly. So let yourself be seen, even if it's just by you. So as you can hear, like so much of this month's energy is just asking us to slow down, to really trust what's rising up, to let things unfold in their own rhythm. And while that sounds lovely in theory, our minds often want to do the opposite. So, it wants a clear plan. It wants like a step-by-step kind of process. But July is not a time to really charge ahead. It's really time to move with presence. So to honor your body, your nervous system, and your soul, you can start to use a couple practices to help you stay more connected without kind of getting swept up in it all. So the first thing I always recommend is to write it down. Like, don't act on it, just give it a place to land. Sometimes when we write it down and see it in front of us, it allows our body just to start to either attune to that. So this is when you can start to allow your body to show you whether this idea feels light and expansive, or does it actually feel heavy and tight when I look at it? What does my body actually do to this when I write it down? And finally, like you can always ask, like, does this feel aligned? Or is this just noise that just wants to be lovingly released right now? And you know what? There's so much wisdom in waiting, in watching how an idea settles in your field. And the thing is, you don't need the whole map, right? You don't need all of the pieces. You just need that next step. So let that clarity come through from your body and use your body's wisdom and let it come from embodiment, not from this urgency. So before we close, I'd love to share an affirmation with you so you can really carry this month with a gentle mantra to bring you back to yourself when things feel really tender or uncertain. And it is, I trust the unfolding. I listen to my inner world and I lead with love and I follow the light. So I'm going to read that again. I trust the unfolding. I listen to my inner world. I lead with love and follow the light. That dropped in when I was sitting and writing notes for this forecast. And I really just want to offer that as a gift for today. And just let that land wherever it's needed, whether it's in your heart, your cells, your breath. You are ready to walk this path, and the path is also rising to meet you too. Okay, thank you so very much for spending this time with me. And if there's one thing I hoped you would walk away with from today, is this. You're not behind and you're blooming. You're blooming in your own way, in your own time. So if this episode stirs something in you, I'd truly love to hear about it. So you can find me over on Instagram at tara.hegarty. Come say hi to me, share what's going on in your world, or just simply let me know what landed for you. And remember, spiritual health changes everything. Not just how we feel, but how we love, how we lead, how we create, and how we connect. So until next time, take gentle care, breathe deep, and trust your rhythm. I'll see you soon.
Thank you for sharing space with me today. If this episode resonated, come find me on Instagram at tara.hegarty to keep the conversation going. You'll find all of the resources we talked about on today's show linked in my bio under podcast resources. Until next time, remember, spiritual health changes everything.